Friends, the U.S. Social Security system has released some great news that will help all of its recipients. Across the country, watch the entire video to find more about the most recent events in Washington, including the choice that Congress made. Has at last reached a judgment that all American Social Security recipients have been anxiously awaiting. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Your support is much appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It's totally free, so let's start a friendship. I am here to present some wonderful news regarding the Social Security system in the United States. As you are well aware, one of the most significant federal government agencies in our nation is in charge of distributing all disability and retirement benefits to over 65 million Americans. Of course, we're talking about the citizens of the United States who have devoted their life to obtaining the right to a dignified retirement, among others old age, the opportunity to draw retirement benefits, and of course, the knowledge that they have enough money to meet everyone's basic necessities in the U.S., because it is a known fact reminding everyone that millions of individuals rely on Social Security and the treasured monthly checks they receive from the federal government, which are typically their only source of income. Since millions of Americans also rely on the disability benefits they receive from Social Security, millions of Americans or inhabitants of this country receive monthly retirement checks from over the past few years. They have expressed a desire to keep working as well. Friends, we must recognize that not everyone with a disability is unable to work. In fact, there are millions of Americans who are eligible for the SSI Supplemental Income Insurance Program, but do not yet have a disability desire to keep working in order to increase their income and, ultimately, have a higher standard of living in the United States. Of course, but friends should take this advice very seriously because many people do not. Unfortunately, Social Security regulations state that if a person with a disability keeps working, it can endanger their advantages. Unfortunately, these people's jobs put their Social Security payments at risk each month. Let us pause for a moment to lament the state of affairs in this nation. Social Security. As I constantly say, those on Social Security are the most vulnerable people in the United States. Money is no longer sufficient for everyone or for anyone to lead a decent life in this nation. We are speaking of those who have earned their entitlement by their contributions, not those who are asking for money for extravagance or to just go on a trip, which would be extremely helpful if they could use it for that. During their working years to Social Security, and it is their responsibility to get a sizable check big enough to cover their basic requirements. Nevertheless, the main focus is on those with disabilities who are now receiving benefits, for despite these limitations, they still wish to work. But naturally, they don't want to give up the perks. Unfortunately, there are ridiculous regulations in place that prohibit people from working, and Social Security would be the source of information about these people that, even though they admit their impairment, if they decide to keep working, they will no longer be qualified for federal assistance. If you enjoy our articles, please remember to hit the thank you button. Assist our channel because over the past few hours, the media has been disseminating news to all Americans in the U.S. Through incredibly dependable sources, the Congress has taught them that lawmakers, or congressmen, senators, representatives, and legislators in this nation have been working hard and have finally decided to change the limits in place. The modifications that need to be made are to the United States Social Security system. In addition to addressing the previously mentioned disabilities issue, they will also address a far more significant problem that impacts millions of individuals. This is a major problem that unfortunately needs to be solved. Families and program homes are pleased with this judgment on the Social Security system in the United States, as are the individuals who receive Social Security benefits today. Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn reaffirmed her commitment to listening. Unfortunately, there are regulations controlling the amount of money or savings that some people, especially those with disabilities, express a wish to keep working, but run the risk of losing their benefits if they do. Impede many people from continuing to work despite their disability. We are carefully listening to the concerns of the public and are currently determining what benefits Social Security recipients are eligible for. been asking for the previous few years, but we are also quite concerned about those people who are getting a surprise letter from Social Security alerting them to the danger of overpayment. Consequently, when the federal government unintentionally overpays a recipient because of a calculation error, it's concerning. You know what the federal government does? It insists that these people refund the money, as the media has been covering lately. Someone told me I'd gotten a message saying, well, it's normal to receive a payment by mistake. But now Social Security overpayments totaling billions of dollars have been revealed to millions of people in this country as a result of this investigation. We're talking about Social Security recipients. They have to return any checks that are larger than what they are entitled to friends or other organizations in this nation. Before making a decision, we must always take into account all of the intermediate hues. Many of these people remained oblivious to the fact that they were being overcompensated. After all, they have faith in our nation's federal government, and the benefits they get from the program are represented in the checks they receive. They merely took the money because it was to their address. And, as I always say, they used it to live a respectable life in the United States. However, after a number of years, we're not even talking about a week or a month, it turns out that Social Security acknowledged this mistake and is merely requesting that many Americans return $50, $60, or even $880,000 instead of $1,000 or $1. We have heard of situations where people have been compelled to. Do you think it is justifiable for these individuals, the bulk of whom are extremely modest in the United States, to have to refund over $11,000 that they claim was paid in excess over the years? Of money first and foremost. In my humble opinion, the situation is completely unfair. Where do you think these people will acquire more than $1,000, $50, or $80,000 to return to Social Security on a daily basis? And requests correction today, friends. The Congress has said that it will make a decision to support these people moving future, naturally. This news has greatly delighted millions of people who are presently suffering through similar circumstances. Sadly, the Accountability Office Director for the U.S. government disclosed that a beneficiary was notified of a $228,000 overpayment and instructed to repay it. Imagine how, said Democratic Senator from Oregon, Ron Wisconsin, in a situation like that, they fight back. It's an unfair procedure, according to the Democratic senator, who has recently emerged as one of the program's most ardent supporters. Years later, a law to solve the problems millions of Social Security recipients have is currently being introduced in our country. The plan raises the cap on the amount of money individuals with Social Security disabilities can save. Advantages without sacrificing those advantages, which implies that those with disabilities who wish to work will have many more opportunities to do so without having to run for office, thanks to the legal change that the U.S. Congress is announcing. The possibility of keeping receiving federal assistance last year, of course, the media revealed about a person who wishes to sell something, like an artwork. This man spoke with his mother about the matter, when it became evident that they have very few options. As you accurately pointed out, the existing regulations forbid anyone from having more than $2,000 in savings. If they did, they would immediately lose their eligibility for Social Security. Outdated and needs Congress sources to be modified. A bill that would prevent people with disabilities who develop before the age of 2 from losing their benefits because of their employment is presently being worked on by Congress. A positive development that we hope will materialize in the coming hours or days. Furthermore, Congress recently unveiled a waiver procedure that enables anyone who have been overpaid to request forgiveness of sums of money more than they have been getting for years. The chairman of the U.S. Government Accountability Office stated as much. Please click the like button to inform others, ring the bell, and share this video. Greatly, and until the next occasion.